Wham's Last Christmas isn't just one of the great Christmas songs. It is the most fascinating, layered, and mysterious music video that I have ever seen. My name is Nick. This isn't the normal kind of video that we make, but for the last few years, I have just been fascinated by the Last Christmas music video. And so I wanted to make this video to see if other people have noticed these things, if they're just as intrigued about it as I am, and to talk about it with other people. So we're going to be breaking down 15. I know that's a ridiculous number, but there's so many interesting things that are happening in this video, and I want to take a look at all of them. So getting started with the basic setup of the video. Last Christmas was released in 1984. It was shot in Saas-Fee, Switzerland, which is a beautiful location. The song was popular right from the beginning, reaching #1 in the UK, but it really hasn't been until the last couple of years that it has skyrocketed in popularity. It was #1 amongst Christmas songs in 2023 and #1 in 2024, and that is the first time a Christmas song has been #1 in consecutive years. And it's actually doing so well that the song is making around $400,000 a year just in royalties. The other thing I think that needs to be pointed out is that while Wham was a group of George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley, again, sorry about the pronunciation, this song was entirely done by George Michael. Andrew didn't have anything to do with it. Okay, now, getting into the actual video, it starts off with George Michael and a group of friends arriving at the vacation destination. The first thing that jumps out at me is the hair. Just look at the hair. Everyone in this video has incredible hair, textured, layered. You just don't see hair like that. The second thing, watch this interaction between George Michael and his ex-girlfriend, who's played by Catherine Hill. She was a model in real life. He arrives, he looks happy, she looks happy, but then as they zoom out, she's got a new boyfriend. She's got a new man in her life. And this is pretty quick, right? Her and George Michael, they were together last Christmas, so she moved on and went to the "do you want to come on vacation with me" part of a relationship pretty quickly. Also interesting is that the new boyfriend in the blue jacket to her left, that is Andrew Ridgeley, who is the other member of Wham. So what they're saying underneath the surface is that George Michael's ex-girlfriend left him for his best friend. We are starting off in some pretty scandalous, shady territory right from the beginning. And I think that this sets up something that will play out throughout the rest of the video. Now, notice the interactions that he and his ex-girlfriend have. George Michael gets out, he's looking happy, everybody's thrilled. Then he sees her, and he starts to reflect on the last Christmas. And he does not look at the new girlfriend again during this first interaction. He keeps his eyes on the ex-girlfriend. The ex-girlfriend, though, looks at George Michael, but then looks at the new boyfriend and stays focused on him. All except for this one last glance back at George Michael, which shows that, oh, there might be something still there. Third thing, they greet everybody but each other. Fourth thing happens as we're approaching this house. Look how they approach this house. That is the worst way to get to that home that you could possibly imagine. Imagine the description on VRBOs, like great house, but you got to climb over a fence and then walk up the steepest part of this hill through trees to get to it. Fifth thing, this is what makes this video so great, is there's always something happening in the background. So right here, white jacket or shirt in the back. Random spin while putting up Christmas decorations. Everything in the 80s was just a little bit extra. Okay, sixth thing. This is the first interaction. No words are spoken, but so much is spoken just with their eyes. So watch how they interact with each other. She's looking up at him. She looks up at him. It starts with her looking up at him. He doesn't notice. Then he drops the tinsel and bam, face to face. First time, whole meeting. It's only for a second, but look at their eyes. They know. Next thing. This is clearly the dumb friend. All of us have groups of friends. We know that in every group, there's always the dumb friend, right? And everybody's congratulating him because this guy was able to go outside and get wood. That's not really a massive task. I think that's pretty safe to say. But you can see that he's the dumb friend because everybody's happy that he was able to accomplish this, and he walks in with all the snow on his hair and then gets the floors wet. Like, shake the snow off before you come in. That's why I think that this is kind of the dumb friend of the group. Cuts back to them, reminding you, oh, there's still a little romantic tension there. Notice George leaves while her gaze still lingers. She thinks about their relationship. She thinks about him. Quick cut back to the dumb friend getting water all over the carpet. Okay, next thing. Watch this interaction between ex-girlfriend and new boyfriend. Not a kiss on the lips, just a quick kiss on the cheek, and that's it. She doesn't really seem to return the kiss. Number 8 is the snowball fight. And I think that this is really symbolic of a larger message that is coming through in this video. And here you have George Michael looking sad, and he's playing with his friends in a snowball fight, but he's also all alone. Quite frankly, kind of looking a little bit creepy over there, like he's got to pee or something. Like, I don't know why he's standing like that, but I think the message of this is how you can be alone and sad when you're surrounded by a group of people at an otherwise joyous time. And the idea that you never really know how somebody is doing, and even if they seem okay, they might be really hurting on the inside. I think that that is portrayed very well throughout this video, and it's one of the big themes of this, of loneliness and loss around the holidays. And that, yeah, it's this joyous time, but for some people it can be very difficult. Next thing. This is where I think that we get a clue as to why George Michael and the ex-girlfriend broke up. I think that the new boyfriend is the better man. Maybe not the better man, but the more, well, maybe not the better man, but the man with more social status. Because watch how he walks in here. Like, this whole time, George Michael has been friendly. Everybody seems to like him, but he hasn't been wowing his friends. This guy walks in with a cake with sparklers on it. He might have made that. I'm going to go out. I'm going to say that he is either the more socially or financially successful of these two, and that the ex-girlfriend believes that she has traded up. Maybe not as an emotional connection, but she believes that she's with a better man than George Michael is. Everybody's having a great time. Now we get to see a third interaction between them. Again, look at the hair. It's just incredible. How would you ever leave George Michael? That just baffles me. You're going to leave George Michael for this other guy? Like, that's not happening in real life, I don't think, right? Like, maybe this other guy is more successful, but George Michael is where the passion is. And that's why she remembers, because he could have been the love of her life. So watch the glances that they exchange. George Michael making way too much eye contact there, right? Like, he's getting a little bit close to pushing over the line. Next thing you notice, they're dressed exactly the same. If they washed their clothes together, there would be a moment where they had to figure out exactly whose clothes were whose. There's another subtle thing happening in this scene, but I want to get to that a little bit later. Notice the interactions again. George Michael sees what's going on. They're still not kissing on the lips. Still no lip kiss. But they're obviously into each other, right? They're leaning. She's looking at George Michael. And to me, this look that she's given is a little suspicious. I don't know exactly what that look says, but I'm not feeling like she's a great person. I feel like she's rubbing it in his face a little bit. And this is why I believe that she is not just the ex-girlfriend. She is the villain in this music video. She's the villain. And I think you'll see that play out as we move forward. Poor George, man. He's hurting. He's hurting. Okay, this is big. This, to me, is probably the biggest thing in this entire video. So focus on this piece of jewelry, this brooch, whatever you want to call it. Now, the new boyfriend is wearing it. That's important. So now things are kind of calming down and everybody's just reflecting on what's happening. And George, he sees her again and he starts to think of the past. He starts to think of the last Christmas. And look how much fun they're having. Just playing, having a good time, getting close. Notice George Michael gives her this brooch. It looks expensive. It looks thoughtful. She seems to really have enjoyed it. And then she gives it to the new boyfriend. She gives it to the new boyfriend who wears it to the holiday gathering in front of George Michael. How is that not a villain? She's the villain of this whole video. She gives it to him and he wears it in front of George Michael. I would not have the audacity, let alone the audacity, to do something like that. The audacity is staggering. Number 14. I think. I've kind of lost track of some of the numbers. I get excited. Here they are leaving. And I think that there's some foreshadowing that's happening. Again, going the worst possible way out of that house. Watch as they are walking away. Last year, it's just her and George. They left together, just the two of them by themselves. They were thinking that they were setting up a life together. Okay, as they're walking away, she's in the red coat. She's right next to George Michael. Is she going to get back with him? Because she's leaving again with George Michael. And the new boyfriend doesn't really seem to be around. And George Michael's new girlfriend doesn't really seem to be around either. So, is this really their last Christmas together? Because as they're walking away, they're together. But he does ultimately just wait back. So maybe they're not going to get back together. And quite frankly, I don't think that they should get back together, because even though George clearly has some strong feelings for her, her behavior throughout this video shows me that ultimately, even though this was a difficult time, George Michael is going to be better off without her. She gave the jewelry to the new boyfriend and wore it in front of him. That's just not thoughtful. George is going to be better off. But let me know what you think about the Last Christmas music video, if you're just as fascinated by this as I am. I've probably watched this twice a week, every week after Halloween. And I'm still endlessly fascinated by this video. It's incredible.